Phones away. Put that shit up. Alright. The video has started. Get your notepad out. It's time to work. It's time to work, okay? In this video, we're talking about how to stay aligned so that you can get your manifestation and your desired reality, right? I'm sure we can all agree, that when it comes to manifestation or getting to your desired reality, one of the hardest things is what? Staying aligned. Outer circumstances happen, mishaps happen, mistakes happen. However, I'm here to teach you how to keep that internal state so that those things are not a factor anymore, and that you can use even resistance to get to your desired reality. All right. So, first things first, some disclaimers. I'm not here to teach you the law of attraction. All right. I'm not here to teach you the law of attraction. I'm not here to teach you how to attract things. I'm here to teach you how to align yourself with the identity and or the vehicle that is needed for you to get your manifestation and maintain it once you get it. Right? Because once you get the manifestation, the work is low-key just begun. Because maintaining it, that's what you really want. You don't want to get it and lose it. You want to make sure that you're maintaining it, that you can keep it and keep thriving for more. Alright? So, before we get into discipline, tactics, and habits, and strategy, we got to get into some foundational principles of understanding our mind before we can understand how to stay aligned. You know, if you're watching this video, you probably already have a want. You have something that you already want, so I'm not going to ask you or teach you how to get a want, because I can't teach you to want anything. What do you want, right? So, first things first to understand is, I don't want to use this. Understanding that all that you see in your reality is constructed by your mind. Right? And what do I mean by that? What I mean is the way you perceive reality and the way you decide on things all start in one place, and that starts in your mind. Right? Specifically, your state of mind. Right? And your state of mind is basically aligned with your subconscious and everything that's inside of your subconscious. Okay? So when I say your state of mind, I'm speaking about this specifically. This is the order. You have your state of mind, whatever it may be. Now, I may be bending down a lot because I'm a tall individual, as I say. And when I seen other people using whiteboards, they were honestly like right here. So I thought it would be the same for me. But boy, was I wrong, right? State of mind, like we just said, your state of mind dictates how you perceive things. Right? Perception. Your perception upon that thing dictates how you decide upon it. Right? Whoa. And that decision dictates how you act on it. Right? State of mind to perception, how you perceived it. That perception constructed your decision. And your decision constructed your actions, which then constructs an outcome that comes upon your reality of how you act or what you view in your reality. Right? So, what we're here to do is to construct this. Construct your state of mind into a vehicle that can maintain your desired reality and or just get you there. Right? Yo, y'all heard that new Cole album, bro? I know it just came out today, and it's pretty bullshitty to assess an album in like 24 hours, in my opinion. But you know, it wasn't that bad. You know, for a minute I've been listening to Forest Hill Drive like all month, to be honest. Like I just be listening to songs like Home Soon, January 28th, you feel me, Fire Squad. And I think my expectation was just looking for something like that, especially if it was, you know, debated that this may be his last album. I was hoping bro would go out with a bang, like something like Forest Hill Drive, to be honest with you. It wasn't that, to be honest, but it's not a bad album. That I can say. That I can say. You know, time moves on. Stories can't be the same. It is what it is. It is what it is. Right? Okay. When it comes to your state of mind is basically your emotions and your thoughts, right? And basically everything in your subconscious, because your state of mind is constructed along with your subconscious. And your subconscious governs about 90 to 95% of everything that you do. Your actions, like we said, how you perceive things, like we said, right? So, what does emotions and thoughts behave like? They behave like matter. Now, matter, what is matter? What is matter? What is matter? Okay, matter is energy organized into patterns until it's held long enough to interact with something, right? And what behaves just like that, right? What behaves similar to matter? And understand that matter is not only solid things, okay? Matter is anything structured enough to produce an effect. Now, emotions and thoughts do the same thing. Like we just said, matter is anything structured enough to produce effects, okay? Everything is always vibrating, okay? So like we said, with the state of mind being the first dictator before we're able to reach an outcome, okay? The outcome is the manifestation. That's when it comes into physical reality, when your behavior does something, when you react a certain way. The first thing that was the trigger, that first domino that was hit, was your emotions and were your thoughts. Which means that everything with the emotions and thoughts are happening on a higher plane, right? A higher plane of existence. And the physical is simply a lower plane. Once you see something physically, it's already happened. The physical is the effect. The external is the effect. The internal is the cause. So if you want to change something externally, you must first go inner to figure it out. If you're watching TV, actually no, fuck the TV. Looking in the mirror is not going to change itself until you change yourself first. If you're seeing yourself smiling in the mirror or seeing yourself crying in the mirror, you're not going to tell the mirror, stop crying. You're going to first stop yourself from crying and the mirror will change. It's the same thing with reality. If you want reality to change, you must change your perception. To change your perception, you must first change your state of mind. Changing your state of mind means changing everything that's in their ether. And we're going to get to the ether. Remember what I just said. Changing your ether, right? I'm reaching flow state. Stick with me now. Stick with me now. My fault. Okay. Like we just said, emotions and thoughts behave just like matter. Now, when things are coming into the physical realm, they must travel through an ether. The ethereal substance, right, which is merely just a channel for matter to become physical, right? And in our sense, our physical will be our manifestation / our desired reality. I should just put DR. Okay. Desired reality plus manifestation. Now, what is in the ether? Put your phone up. Put your phone up. Notepads, man. Of course. call your fucking mama. Alright. Now, these emotions and your thoughts, right? What's in the ether? Subconscious beliefs. Right? Your convictions. More so your emotional convictions. Holds more energy. Such as things like trauma, you know, the way you view relationships maybe. Right? And your nervous system. And all of that is constructed into one thing that we can simply call your identity. Right? So, when it comes to this, you need to understand that if you're trying to manifest a certain reality, like what we talked about with the mirror analogy, this is what you need to focus on first. Right? Regulating these three things in order so you can change your identity so that it correlates with these new thoughts that you have, right? Now, like we said, matter has to go through the ether to become physical. Regarding emotions and thoughts, it has to go through your subconscious beliefs. It has to go through your nervous system for it to become physical. Now, nothing is able to become manifested, right, until it gets through this ether. If it gets to this ether and your nervous system is not regulated enough for this abundancy, right, if your subconscious beliefs contradict what you're trying to manifest, right, it will become distorted. It will become disturbed. And you ain't getting shit. You ain't getting shit. Right? So, what am I trying to get you to understand? You answer that. You cannot be having abundant thoughts and then expect abundancy in your desired reality or in your reality of now, because you can only have what you have, Matthew 25, right? You need to be in an abundant identity, right? You can't have abundant thoughts and emotions, right? And then when you see the homeless man, you don't want to give him $2 and you got 10. You don't want to give him $5 and you got fucking 10, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to be it before you become it. Okay? You have to be before you become. So, let's give another example, actually. Let's give another example. Let's say you want to become a content creator. That's a good one. Say you want to become a content creator. As everybody does. I'm going to put this up here, actually. I don't want to hear it, bro. Chill up. Chill up. I'm going to give it to you. Pause. Alright. Say you want to be a content creator. You want to do content creation. We're going to talk specifically about, we'll do subconscious belief first. What are your subconscious beliefs about being a content creator? Right? And are you doing such things that you believe can make you the best content creator or the most influential right? You get what I'm saying? What do you believe about those things? Do you believe you have to post 1 to 3 times a day? Right? Post. Which means that if you don't do this, in your reality, you're going to feel like you can't blow up because you're not posting one to 3 times a day. I'm sorry, like this painting, this portrait kind of fell off the wall and started slanting. Literally, bro, no bullshit. But that don't mean nothing. We're getting to it. We're getting to it. It's because you're trying to block. I'm just fucking with y'all, bro. They're trying to block. They're trying to block the knowledge I'm trying to give to you. You know what I'm saying? They're watching me. Looking nice. Alright. Another part of this is your nervous system. Right? Are you okay with being as visible as you need to be? With those 1 to 3 posts a day, let's say you believe that and you actually are doing that. You actually are putting into action to doing such thing, right? You need to not be feeling shame when you do it. You need to not be feeling judged when you do those things. Your nervous system must be calibrated to the point where it's normal to you. How would your desired reality person, the person that's living in your desired reality, how would they feel about posting? You feel what I'm saying? How would they be? What is their identity? Construct yourself to be that person now, before reality shows it to you, right? Because you don't know when reality shows it, but we'll show it to you. Excuse me. The ether does not work like matter, right? Matter automatically goes to the ether. Your thoughts automatically gets to your subconscious mind, right? Automatically. However, the ether works on its own time. It has its own laws. So it's not going to go to the physical until you damn near feel like it. However, you must hold that frequency. You must hold that vibration. Understanding that everything in your reality vibrates also. We're not going to get into that though too much. Holding that frequency until it becomes physical. Okay? Now, like I said, your nervous system must be calibrated in order for you to get your desired reality. You need to have convictions about your desired reality that you are inhabiting. Okay? Or you're just going to self-sabotage yourself. Right? If you feel like you need to post 1 to 3 times a day, but your nervous system is not calibrated to doing that, you're going to self-sabotage. Right? And that doesn't mean that you're being lazy. Right? Hold on. Let me get this out the way first. Hopefully. Hey, man. Y'all ready to write notes, bro. But ain't none of this shit coming back up once you feel me? Use eraser. Understanding that when you self-sabotage, it does not mean that you're lazy. Let's say your self-sabotage is procrastination, right? It doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're a fucking delinquent, right? It simply means that you are misaligned, okay? Understand that you must always, your desired reality requires a new level of yourself, a new frequency of yourself, right? And your nervous system must be calibrated for that, okay? DR, desired reality. It requires a new level of yourself, right? That may be more consistency. That may mean more responsibility. That may mean more visibility, right? And if your nervous system is not calibrated, right? NS. Actually, okay. If your nervous system is not calibrated with that, you're going to unconsciously self-sabotage because you are misaligned with that, okay? So, like we spoke about with the ether, look, I'm circling here because that's where it was, but look in your note. You should be writing notes, brother, sis. Now, if you're, the fuck? If your ether, if your entire ether is aligned with your goals, manifestation becomes effortless. You hear what I'm saying? Simple as that. Simple as that. Who do you need to become? And you become that. Handling your internal first. And watch your external change. Watch you be able to see new opportunities that you weren't able to see before because you are in a new frequency. You are vibrating on a new level, vibrating new thoughts, which puts you in a different frequency. And that frequency constructed a particular reality for you. You know what I'm saying? 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 Alright. Let's go into polarity. What's polarity? What's polarity? Alright. Polarity is basically understanding that everything has its opposite side. Opposite pose. Whoa. I don't know if that's right. That might be wrong. I don't know. I don't care for real. Opposite, that's right. Opposite pose. And in a sense, it's kind of correlated with duality. Right. Now, why are we talking about polarity? Right? Because like I said, I'm not here to teach you how to attract things. I'm here to teach you how to be in alignment. Okay? That's what we're here for. I'm not here to teach you how to stay in positive thoughts constantly because that's damn near impossible, to be real with you, to be honest with you. However, you are able to shift your energy on the other end of that pole. And we're going to get to that and give you a better understanding of that. So then you can have much more faith and then you can implement it much more easier. Okay? But what am I here for? I'm here to teach you how to have agency over your emotions. Okay? When external circumstances may arise in your life, I'm here to teach you how to make sure that those circumstances also give you the opportunity to align to your desired reality. Okay? Oh no, keep that. Right? So what's some examples of polarity, right? Let's say, I'm gonna keep it in some simple terms for you guys. Fear and courage. Let's start here. Alright, let's start here. So, good example here. Let's say a person that's heroes in a sense. Not superheroes, not in the movies, I'm talking about real life. People that are labeled real heroes. Now, those people experience fear before they put the action towards doing what they did to become labeled a hero by society, right? But they switch that energy to courage. Now, how do you shift fear to courage? Do you erase fear? Do you just act like fear isn't there? The second one is kind of close, right? The fear doesn't leave, but you shift your attention to making this an opportunity of courageousness, right? Courage is doing something in the midst of fear, right? That person was courageous because they did it in the midst of fear, because everybody else was scared. But that doesn't mean that that individual was not scared. They simply did it in the midst of the fear. They walked through the fire when nobody else would do it. That's courage. Okay? That's what the fuck courage is. Now, in the entrepreneur standpoint, okay? Let's say you in your business, let's say slow months, right? Slow months. No clients coming in, right? Less revenue for the month, right? How will most individuals look at this? They may get doubtful. Whoa! Oh! Sure, yeah. Hey, check right. They may get frustrated. Right? Now, okay. Now, these aren't like a three-way. Get your freaky ass on, dog. Chill. These are just two examples of the same thing, right? But they're not on the same pole. Just I'm going to give them the same opposite pole, okay? So, doubtful and frustrated. The opposite of that would be clarity, right? How do we change this circumstance into keeping us aligned? You know, making it better for us so that we can use it as fuel for our manifestation, right? We switch it to clarity. Now, what's clarity for this, right? An opportunity. One thing that we have to understand is that there's always a lesson in something, right? There's always an opportunity to make ourselves better for what we're striving towards, right? So when it comes to slow months, when it comes to having no clients in the month or just simply less revenue, right? You can look at this, shift your energy from being doubtful and frustrated and having clarity over the situation and saying, okay, maybe I need to do some more refinement. I'm tall and like lean. That's why like my shit's becoming diagonal. But y'all, like, you can't whip my ass. So, like, just pay attention and write down, bro. More refinement. How can I have a better offer? You know, how can I have better content? Looking at it in that sense, right? And not being discouraged, not being doubtful, not being frustrated, understanding like, okay, maybe I need to put more work in, and that's okay. That's okay, because in the end, you will become better. You will be a better individual at the end of the time, right? When that pendulum swing hits. What's the pendulum swing? We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Hey, check right. Alright. Do another example. Not everybody is inside of a business. I like basketball. I love sports, period. Specifically boxing and ball, for real. I don't really care about nothing else. I'm not gonna lie. Another example is an individual, let's say in the locker room before a big game. Say a dude is in the state championship. Right? Or it could be a boxer. Right? finally fighting for the championship. Something that they've envisioned for so long, and they're finally here. But emotions hit. Emotions hit. Emotions arise. Right? What are they feeling? What are they feeling? The heart racing. Y'all see still? Okay, yeah. Heart is racing. Pounding. Boo boo. Boo boo. Boo boo. Right? Tight chest. Right? Nerves. Adrenaline pumping. Crazy. I might be wrong. Don't care. Right? So, what are two emotions that this can be seen as? This can be seen as panic. Well, that nigga panicking. Oh my goodness. Yes, I said nigga, bro. Yes, chill, bro. It ain't that deep, bro. Fake spiritual ass nigga. Alright. Anxiety. It's a good one. Right? Boom. These can also be seen as focus. You can feel all of this and be like, yo, I'm focused right now. I'm ready. I'm ready to beat the brakes off of him. You hear me? Or, yo, I'm number one on their scouting report. I'm supposed to feel this way. Now I'm finna go out here and kill it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about where you decide to shift this energy that you have. You can shift it to panic. You're gonna go out there and get fucked up. Or you're gonna go out there and get dunked on. You're gonna go out there and just be a liability for the team, right? Or you can shift it to focus, make the right decisions, make the right passes, right? Keeping your jab straight, keeping your hands up. You hear what I'm saying? Anxiety, that's just readiness, right? Shifting these things. Two examples for you guys and my gals. Alright? Let's move on from polarity into what the Kabbalion calls the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm basically tells us that our lows are inevitable. Don't start crying. Don't start crying yet. Don't start crying yet, G. I'm gonna teach you how to battle this. Right? Because there's only really one mistake when it comes to, once you understand that, okay, I'm gonna have bad days. Once you have that knowledge and you have that understanding, being able to control it becomes much more easier. I mean, we don't bank on having bad emotions. They come out of nowhere, right? So how do we make sure that we don't feel too much of the lows? Only one way. Only one way. Read it together, class. Don't stay attached to the highs, right? Once you understand that, okay, I might have some bad months regarding my business. I might have some slow viewership during my content. I might just have bad emotions throughout this week or just throughout this day, right? Understanding that you also are going to have some great moments. You're going to have some great revenue months. You're going to have some great viewership on this week or this month, right? Don't attach your identity to those highs. It's okay to embrace them. It's okay to congratulate yourself and celebrate yourself. That's cool. But don't over-identify and say, I am this person. I am always going to have this, right? You're over-identifying it, because once you over-identify with the highs, once that rhythm hits, because it will hit, like once again, it's inevitable. If you over-identify with your highs, once the rhythm hit and it's, you feel me? You've over-identify with the extreme of the positive, right? And the pendulum swing tells us that once it starts to go back, it's going to have just as much as momentum as you placed upon that high, which means you are going to feel most likely the extremist of lows once those lows start to hit. Because since you over-identify with it, you are going to start to feel a sense of what? Over-identifying with the highs will put you in a sense of damn near an identity crisis. Because since you over-identify with the highs, once you have that low, you are going to feel like a loss of self. Right? More doubts about everything that you've done, because you are now, maybe you feel like you're back at square one. Maybe you feel like the work was for nothing, because you don't understand that the swing was bound to happen. And once you start grading these emotions, what did we say at the beginning of the video? All experience happens in the mind. So you are going to start to contribute doubt and frustrations into your life and into your reality. So them highs are going to be much harder to hit again, because you over-identified and you didn't understand the law of rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So not over-identifying with the highs. You want to stay neutral. You want to stay aligned, like we said, right? And when these lows hit, I gave a great example with the law of polarity, using the law of compensation. What is the law of compensation? The law of compensation is basically using these low moments as an opportunity to become better, as an opportunity to refine yourself, refine your offer, refine your deals, refine your speaking techniques, right? There's always something to learn. There's always something trying to teach you, so that you are able to get to your desired reality. Once you start putting in that energy out into the universe, it's going to give you opportunities to become the individual and become the vehicle to get to your desired reality. So we're not going to go too much into that, because I kind of gave you examples in the definition in the midst of teaching you polarity, right? So this is basically what I want to leave you with, okay? And understanding that staying aligned is, how do I want to say this? Staying aligned is responding to resistance as opportunities. Okay? Being in fear does not mean that you're misaligned, bro. Slow months does not mean that you're misaligned. Okay? Laziness does not strictly mean that you're misaligned. Okay? You need to focus on shifting that energy to its opposite. Right? Shift it to the opposite. Okay? Like we said at the beginning, when your ether is aligned with your goals, manifestation becomes effortless. There you go. I'm not fed, so I hope I helped you out. You better have wrote some damn notes down, dog. I ain't bullshitting. Put them in the comments, you know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, or don't. I don't really care. You rock with the video, I rock with you. Peace.